It's a series.
Is this thing on?
What's up, my women warriors? It's your girl Sierra Arielle.
And it's your girl Symone Ranaye. And welcome back to
All Things Women Podcast,
where you know you're going to get the latest tips and scoops on all things
women.
So first and foremost, we would like to thank all of our followers, our subscribers, our audience for, checking in. As you know, last week we did not post due to personal reasons, but you guys still showed up and showed out. So we want to just thank you for just being our ride or dies, pretty much. And we're happy to be back. It feels really good. It feels really refreshing to be back. Today, we have a very special guest. She is an author. She is a friend. She is a mother. She is a spiritual leader. She is a woman of many talents, and we are so very happy to be here with her. We would like to introduce you guys to the one and the only JP Storm. Let's give it up. All right, so JP, how do you feel to be on All Things Women podcast?
Very nervous.
Why?
Very nervous. I'm just nervous.
Well, you look good being nervous. I like your necklace and your earrings and your whole attire. You look just like a queen right now.
Very.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
You ladies look very lovely too.
Thank you, but this is about you. But thank you.
Right. Let me tell you, this right here, we're giving. Let's just put that. We're giving. First and foremost, your book. Yes, it's definitely a page turner. I did read it in a day. One thing, I don't read. Like, I'm a writer. So as a writer, I just stick to the writing aspect of it. But as a reader, I was like, let's see what we have here. I enjoyed it.
The first page definitely was captivating.
Yes.
Thank you.
That first page, I was like, what? Because I can speak from my own experiences. I have been through an abusive relationship, and like reading it was very raw and real. And it was like, what? I need to keep reading. So first page definitely was pulling me in.
Yes. When I first started writing the book, I actually wanted the first page to be a page turner, to get women interested in what is going on. I didn't want the book to be a long read. I just wanted to get to the point. And I think I did that.
Yes, you did. I appreciated that a lot because, like I said, I'm not much of a reader, but
I enjoyed the book, but Miss JP, I have so many questions.
So everyone wants to know, for those of you that have not read the book, you need to read this book. We will definitely be dropping all of the information in the description box below for our channel. And we will definitely be letting you guys, have access to this great read. But people want to know, what exactly inspired you to write this book? Like, was it difficult for you at any point to speak your truth? Because this is definitely some truth.
Yes, it was very difficult. It's a true story. It actually happened to me and my daughter. And I needed to get it out of my system so I could quit thinking about the hurt and the pain that he caused. It helped some. And by being exposed, a lot of women are reading it. I'm getting a lot of good feedback. So it's really helping me mentally. And it's also helping Skylar mentally.
That's good.
Because it's getting out there.
That's good. I know for me, I was reading it and I was just like, this is heavy. This is something that it's really like, wait a minute, like this, I mean, you see it on TV all the time. You hear about these stories on like the First 48 or these different crime shows like For My Man and different things like that. But when you're actually reading something and you know that it's based on a true story, like Sierra said, it's really captivating. It's very like, wait a minute, like this stuff really happens. This is not just something you hear about on television. And it just was really, I don't know, it just blew my mind.
Well, it blew my mind because I actually thought when it was actually happening that I was seeing something on a Lifetime movie. I could not believe it was actually happening to me or Skylar. And I just had to regroup and say, wait a minute, this is actually going on in my home. Something needs to be done. So I just jumped in like a mother hen, did what I needed to do.
Period.
So what
in the conversation.
What inspired the names of the characters in this book?
Oh yes.
Like whose name?
The characters.
All of them.
All of them?
The main,
all of them.
Exactly.
Skylar's name came from an old Western show that I remembered as a kid. And I thought Skylar was a very pretty name. Scarlett O'Hara. So it was kind of short for that. And then you put in what you want. Dylan, I just despised him. So I just picked out, couldn't call him the devil. So just the worst name I could think of, Dylan. The other characters were just characters that just came to mind. You know, from childhood, something I've read, something I saw, something I like. The only name that stands out right now is Casper. I like the movie Casper the Friendly Ghost. Yeah. And he whispered to the little girl, "Can I keep you?" So I thought, oh, how precious. So that's how he came about.
And then Fiona.
I just liked the name. It was just different. It's like, you don't hear that name. And then when I did some research and she was on Shrek, it's like, she got guts. That's me. You know, she fought the kingdom to keep, and what was it? Or she had guts because she wanted to keep him. Yeah. And she fought for what she wanted. And that was me. I fought for my child and myself.
I like that you put thought into the character's name and they all have like a meaning behind it.
They do.
That definitely means something.
It makes sense.
Especially Fiona, I like that name. I like it.
Well, thank you.
As a mother, would you say that it was difficult to watch your daughter go through so much? And I know you also mentioned in certain parts of the book that you had to refrain from speaking how you truly felt. So what was that like?
What was
the difficulty?
It was hard because she was in love with this person. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to interfere in that. I think two grown people should be able to handle their own business. Mm-hmm. But when it got to be too abusive and I saw how she changed, and it wasn't the person that I raised her to be a strong Black independent woman. And when I saw her change slowly, Mama had to step in and say, you know what, you need to wake up. This can't be happening, not under my roof. But it did. And, you know, like he said, those were his laws, but he had to realize these are Fiona laws. So take it or leave it.
Ladies, it's very important that you guys establish your own laws.
Yes. Yes.
You know, the laws, I totally get, but I think it's more of a boundary level. Because I feel like laws is more of like, you have to do this way or no other, you know?
That's true. But
So,
when you're in an abusive relationship, and I saw the relationship turning abusive, boundaries was out the window. He completely ignored boundaries because I'm the man. You say that to someone else, you're in my home. There are laws. You brought that up. I didn't bring it up.
so in the
When
sense
he
you're
said,
speaking into it in his
these are
language.
my laws, okay, let me throw it back at you. These are my laws. This is my home. So yeah, there are such a thing as boundaries.
So
how much is a person willing to take before enough is enough?
True.
And that's in all relationships, let me tell you. Yes, that's a good question. Ladies and men, for our men audience as well, how much are y'all willing to take before it becomes too much? Sometimes you got to cut the cord.
Sometimes you can't cut the cord. Skylar was in a position where she could not cut the cord.
Yeah.
She was really in a position where she couldn't cut the cord, and I still didn't step in until it just got to the point he was killing my child.
Yeah.
And that's when I had to step in.
I was married in an abusive relationship, and I had no savior for me. So I had to speak to God, and I actually had to ask for forgiveness, because it wasn't for forgiveness as far as like leaving him. It was forgiveness as far as me breaking the bond I had with God in this marriage. That was one of the hardest things. But before that, I had to get over the psychological manipulation that he had over me. And so when you have a predator that sees you, when they see you, they see things in you that, like, certain things that you do, like if you're a selfless person, they notice that. So they see that as, oh, I can manipulate. It's easier for her to be manipulated. And especially when you're a younger woman and you're just discovering yourself, they definitely target the younger women because they feel like those are the most naive and vulnerable women to manipulate. So the one thing that is hard is to break a bond. And it's not like a natural bond that these predators, they get with you. It's they have their claws in you. They are sucking the life out of you. And at this point, you're limp. You don't know what is good or bad anymore because all you feel is claws.
Right. But not one time did I tell her to leave him. That had to be her decision.
I know that had to be difficult.
It was. It was very hard.
I know, because I know it's a few people I'm like that. I always say this, like, you never really know. Well, in your defense, it's a little bit different because you knew. But in like the outside world, we paint our spouses or our partners to be the best thing for us, even through all of the bad. So unless you have that one person that you can really confide in and say like, hey, this man or this woman is getting on my damn nerves and I'm just like ready to go. And then like for me, I'm always like, look, I'm not going to tell you to leave unless it's one of two things. Either this person has cheated on you or put their hands on you. At that point, it's time for you to exit out the building. But when you don't really know the true foundation of the relationship, it's kind of hard for you to tell this person to leave. But in your defense, you knew and you still didn't. That's big.
I did not. Yeah. Well, I wanted her to see. And unless she saw what was happening, she could have left him and went back. Or, Mama, you told me to do this. So no, I wasn't going to go through that. I needed her to see. And when it got to the point, she didn't see until that terrible night. It was a little late for her to leave. He was not going to let her leave.
Listen, being a mother, I get it. Because the more you tell your child, no, stay away, the more they define you and just want to continue, and they go even harder for that person. Yeah. So when I was reading the book. I totally got the reason why you did what you did, because the more you forced yourself onto the relationship, the further she pushed away from you. And I totally get that. Like, I want my baby to be here, especially that was your only child and that was your daughter of all things. It's like, I love my child, and I don't want my child to just disappear, because like, that's my, that's my age. That's my, I personally feel like our children, we give a piece of our soul to them. So it's like, that's a piece of my soul missing. And I can't, I totally understood why you didn't say anything and why you did what you did.
Yes. Thank you so much for understanding that. So many people don't.
And I can guarantee you it's those people who've never been in a situation like this, on top of that, who haven't had children before. Because I mean, yeah, you can have children, but you haven't experienced those things, seeing your child or being in an abusive relationship. I've been in one and I have children. So I got your side, and I understood like what you're, in a sense of what your daughter was going through, like being manipulated and being distracted with all of these shiny and things that you've never had. I mean, she's experienced things that she's never experienced before, and it's such a joy. But at the same time, he's using that as a tool of manipulation.
Yeah, but he couldn't use that tool on me, and I think that annoyed him. That's why I guess I became public enemy number one. But I felt early on in the relationship there was some abuse going on, but I couldn't prove it. When the rare time she came over, I would check for marks. I would look, let me look at your face. Come here. And I didn't see anything, but I could look at her face and I just felt something was wrong. And I know if I had said something, it would just push her out the door. Or usually when I did speak up, it's like, he's ready to go. And that was the end of that.
I also noticed that what you did was you spoke to other men to see if you're really seeing what you're seeing. And it was crazy because these other men that you've spoken to were like, nah, you're tripping.
Yeah.
But I wish you would have told them more. Like, I felt like you were on the surface. And your sister too, you spoke to her about it and she was like, I don't know. But then after a while, didn't she start noticing things as well?
Everybody started noticing the change gradually.
Yeah.
But I guess she's mine. I noticed it before anyone else, and I just wanted someone else to say, hey, you're not crazy. She's actually changing. He made her from a vintage girl to a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
She had everything at her disposal. And I don't blame her, because young people follow the money. And all money is not good money.
Money.
And just because you should do something, don't mean you should go for it. Sometimes you have to just sit back and wait. And she didn't. So he gave her things I could never afford to give her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. But everything, it's like, and it's like a catch-22. You not being able to give her those things allowed her to allow her to understand like the importance of earning things. But then when it came so easily, it was like, well, I got it. So
there's nothing more for me to work for at this point.
Yes.
Why?
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. I have an oldest one that's like that. I'm just going to leave that right now. So has your story ever been aired on the news before?
No.
No?
Yes. Excuse me. Yes. When it actually happened, it did. And then it ran in the paper for a few weeks and it died down. But in my mind, it never did. And it never will go away.
that, I think alone, like just knowing that is still kind of like scary, because you're still, like you said, like it never died down in your mind. So I don't even have to ask. I already can tell. That's like a big thing. Like people are going to be looking at me. People are, you know, going to be saying certain things, different, like thinking certain things. I'm still thinking certain things. I'm just like, who?
Yeah, the whole neighborhood was still thinking about it. Every time my garage got painted on or my wall got painted on, you know, it was like, this isn't a hate crime. This is a murder scene. This has actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And no one was there to help. So I helped myself.
Listen, you are a strong woman. Like when I say a woman warrior, you are the definition of a woman warrior. No, I just have to take the time, because all those feelings of reading that book, because I'm reading it and I'm getting like, oh, hell no, what the? And my boyfriend's like, what's going on? And I'm like, babe, look. Listen, I mean, the ending and how you came, I have to applaud you on that. Like, you are an amazing woman to go through what you went through and still get beat down and still get back up and face the devil, because that's what you faced. You faced the devil and you said, yeah, listen, devil still beat you down. You got right back up. You're an amazing woman.
Well, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for saying that, because a lot of people think I was crazy.
Incredible. No, being, like I said, being a mother and mama bear. And listen, I'm the type, if you do something to me, whatever, but you do something to my child, oh, I'm coming for you. You hurt my feelings, whatever. It's my feelings. I can get over it. But I can't get over you hurting my child. So
yes.
Listen, yes. you have that crown on you and you wear it so well and so divine. And I'm just,
period.
I am so blessed that you even allowed us to talk to you about your story and to be here, and seeing you looking so gorgeous and standing tall and still pride in talking about it. Yes, that's all I can say.
Period.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a little birdie told us that you are working on a rewrite of your book. So we, All Things Woman podcast, want to know what's different this time, because I know that there were certain parts towards the end of the book where you were like, we'll discuss that at a later time, or just stay tuned for this portion of it. And I was just like, okay, well, I want to know, you know, I'm nosy and we need to know.
I'm going to go a little bit more into Dylan, how he really became to be who he was, because I know a lot of people want to know.
Yes.
There was a lot I left out of the book.
Yes.
I still feel he's the devil, but it was just a lot of things I could not put in the first book, because I wanted to capture the audience and let them know this is happening right now on your street. And the people that came out, like I said, it was like a circus. It's like, okay, you see this happening, but you're doing nothing. And there was a lot that I could not put in the book, in the first book, but the second book, yes, there's a lot that I left out on purpose. We're hoping to do a screenplay with this, so maybe you see the twists and turns in that.
Well, Missy, you know I'm an actress, so if you need somebody to, you know, here you are.
I will let my manager know.
Yes. She's really good with YouTube. She has a YouTube channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to her channel, Sierra Arielle, where she has edited, written, did multiple scenes. This girl has played the damn crazy, the normal. It's phenomenal. And I'm not even just saying that. I'm
thank
being
you.
truthful here. So yes. We'll have our people call your people.
Yes, please have her people call my people. And my people will call your people.
I am my people, so.
Hey, one-stop shop. But can I mention this right quick? that we are going to have a book reading on August 28th at the Torrance Marriott. That's a Saturday. If for more info, call Lee Martin, 909. She's laughing. 909-507-3190 for more information on the book reading.
Definitely. Y'all come out.
Heard that.
And let's do this.
I hope you guys come out.
Definitely, we will be
Saturday. Well, that depends on if we have to work that Saturday or not.
And if we get off early. But I definitely I definitely need that book though. So I will definitely be in touch. Well, we're gonna be in touch because we need that book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, go on the website. It's www.jpstorm315.net and order your book.
I think this next question, I'm gonna let my sis take care of it because this is one of the questions that she has been like, I need to know. So go ahead, sis.
So I know you said you instilled things in like your daughter as far as what a woman should be. And I'm just wondering, what was the upbringing of your daughter and the parenting styles, household? Like, what are the values you instilled in your daughter? Can I know the vulnerability of Sky?
In the beginning, she was a strong, young Black woman, very independent. I raised her to be independent and depend on yourself only. Even if you involve with someone, be your own person. Never let a person change you. Never let a person change you who you are. You develop the character you want to be and you stick with that. And if he doesn't like that character, either you could say, hey, we be friends, or just move on. I taught her to go to school, work, get your own job, have your own money. Never depend on anyone else for your livelihood. But when Dylan showed up, all that went out the window.
So what was the relationship between her and her father?
There was no relationship between her and her father. I'm a single parent. So it was just me, a mom and dad.
Oh, and there was no father, like a male figure in her life?
Not that I care to mention, no.
Gotcha.
I was an abusive person, so I knew the signs.
Yeah.
So everything I went through, I never wanted my child to experience that.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, when you have your father is there to teach you how you should be treated. And so in that sense, she didn't have, and then reading the book, that's why I'm like, where was her father? I know in the story, I mean, in the book, it says that he passed away, correct? I just want to be clear if I read that right.
You did not read that right.
Okay.
He did not pass away. Melissa's father is very much alive. And in another book that I'm writing, you will find out all about that.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was also under the impression that he was absent due to him not being alive.
No.
But now that we have that cleared up, okay.
So it makes sense.
It does. But I've never experienced this. So it was really heartbreaking for me to read, to know that there's people out there that actually have to go through this. And as I'm reading it, I was like, I know in the beginning you mentioned how some people aren't really understanding. I'm gonna admit, I wasn't. I was like, if this lady don't get her grown ass daughter and jump this fool, I was just like, you know what? I don't know if it's just like the blood I got in my veins or what, but I was just like, honestly, this is crazy. Like at that point where I felt uncomfortable, all bets would have been off. Now that we're talking, I do have a better understanding. But in the beginning, I was one of those people that was like, this lady has lost her loving mind.
No.
And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. But I get it now. I got you.
Good.
I got you.
Didn't she not talk to you for years? when after she got married?
Yes,
Yeah,
we went through that.
Yeah.
Now that we have a better understanding, we're going to skip that next question because it was going to be more in detail of her father and the relation between you and her father. So we're just going to move that along. If you could go back in time and change anything about your story, which are really events, what would you do differently? If you would do anything different.
To be honest, I don't think I could have done anything different. Here's this handsome guy just out of nowhere with all this money, all the glitz and glamour that he could offer her. Your mom is working a 9 to 5. Your mom is doing side work. I'm trying to send you to school. And someone promises you the world and they can actually give it to you. And all I can tell you is, baby, if you reach for the moon, you might get a few stars. And I guess she got tired of reaching and not getting it. But he promised her that and more. And he gave her that and more. But it came with a price. So I don't think I could have done anything different than what I did. Because he wanted Sky.
And he was going to do anything
to get her.
To keep her. Yeah, I feel you. God puts us through, I mean, the crazy shit that I've been through. Now that I am older and a little bit wiser because of my experience, because like you could be wise when you're young. And I was very wise when I was young, but I understand now that I'm older and I've been through what I've been through, like I had an old soul, but I really wasn't wise, because wisdom comes with experience.
Yes.
Learning from those experiences. So you can speak something. And I was young, I used to speak so like people were like, you are so intelligent, like you're such an old soul, like how do you know this? But in actuality, I didn't understand. Like I knew what I was speaking, but I didn't fully understand what I was talking about until I went through those experiences and I actually gained an understanding. So feel like with the experience that your daughter went through, even though it's like, why? Like, really? Was that, did it really have to go that far? But God had a plan for her, and then God had a plan for you, and it made both of you guys stronger because you're still here today, and you know, whatever he has in store, it was all for a purpose. And
yes.
It's tough even thinking about, like, really, did I really have to go through that just to get the, you know, the wisdom? But
sometimes you do.
Let me tell you, sometimes I just be like, listen up, G, because we have that type of relationship. And I just be like, okay, I know, because I had the same thing growing up. Like I was 10 talking to people about marriage, and I'm 10 and I'm over here telling them like, well, you know, you should be doing this, and you should be doing this. And I'm only 10 and I'm like, and they're like, how do you know all this stuff? I'm like, I honestly don't even know. It sounds good. It makes sense to me. So, I mean, I'm going to speak. So I completely understand that, sis. I understand that. And sometimes I ain't gonna lie, God be taking a little bit too long. But the old saying goes is he never come when you want him, but he always right on time. So
exactly.
Good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely.
You want it fast. There's some behind that.
Yes. And if you get it too fast, it might not be what you want.
Exactly.
But when he brings it, you got to be ready for it.
Absolutely.
I honestly believe, like I said in the book, that's when I learned how to pray. You can go to church every Sunday, Amen Corner. And it's like, you get up, you go home, you go to dinner, and it's like, okay, so what was the sermon about? I learned how to pray. That night I was born again. When that voice in my head heard, she's coded, that was all I heard. And I knew one of us was going to die.
And I'd rather it be me, the mother, so my child can continue going on.
Well, I didn't know if she was dead or alive.
Yeah.
I really didn't, because I didn't wait. to hear the rest.
Mhm.
I just heard, I know what he had done to her. I know she ran away. They found her. She was barely alive. And when they said she's coded, I couldn't take it. As much as I was hurt and limping and half nude, I had to go in there and fight the devil. And that's what I did.
Absolutely.
Remember in the book, it says, Storm is coming and his mother. He liked to call me mother. I was a mother of a storm like he's never seen. And I think God gave me the strength to get through that.
Oh, he absolutely did. He absolutely did. I applauded you when you were in the hospital and you have all these people saying like, no, you need to rest. You like, no, no, where's my child? I was like, oh yes, there it is. There it is.
Yes. And then I found her and it was like, this is not my daughter, but it was. And it just, I don't know, just did something to me. A lot of that is not in the book.
Yeah.
My daughter is in the military. The military even came and it just broke my heart when they came. My daughter was in a coma for 29 days. They didn't know if she's gonna live or die. My daughter had to have 3 facial reconstructions. Her nose was gone. They had to pull her nose out, her eyes. My daughter has titanium plates in her face now. She can't stand the sun. She can't stand the cold. See, those things that I remember. Mm-hmm. And the more I talk about it, it hurts.
Yeah.
But I believe it'll get easier.
Let it out. I know one thing is when you talk about it, it's like an emotion. When you talk about it, you let it out. Holding it in, it festers and
yes,
it just turns into something negative. And you got it. It's good. It's healthy to cry. It's healthy to wail your life and your emotions away. And being an actress and going to, my coach, and we do the craziest things in our workshops where you're like, but and not only is it helpful in acting, it's very therapeutic in life because you wail, you feel those feelings. It's healthy to feel those feelings. When you don't feel those feelings are inside of you, just fake.
Yes.
So, definitely, because I know with my life experiences, when I didn't let it out, I felt even worse about myself. But when I did speak about it, it became easier and easier. So definitely.
It's getting easier. It hasn't gotten there yet. It's getting easier.
Yeah.
The good thing about Skylar, she doesn't remember a lot because of the injuries that she sustained. So it's getting easier.
Does she remember the relationship?
Not really. She will talk about certain things, the happy times, but the actual event, she doesn't remember any of it. But she slowly, she's in therapy, and I don't think they really want her to remember based on the police records that they have.
Yeah. Sometimes.
But me, I remember everything.
Yeah.
Right. That's that's a lot.
Yes. It's a lot to digest.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's heavy.
What would you tell your younger self as a mother after experiencing what you experienced?
What I tell my younger self?
As a mother, yes.
Just to stay strong and don't let anyone come between you and the ones that you love. Just to stay strong, stay prayed up, put God first in everything you do, not second, but first. And be a stronger prayer warrior, which that has taught me to do that.
Amen.
And like I said, he wore the robe then, I wear it now. There you go.
Dead and gone. Dead and gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping. I'm sorry. I'm. Listen, make love not war. This is all from But listen, I was hoping you was gonna end it, but I think everything was intended the way it was supposed to be, because we wouldn't want you to live with that. But when you're reading the book and you living in that world that you're reading inside, I'm like, yo, mama, end it, end him now.
No, honestly, I thought that was going to be the case when you like walked back in the house. I was like, oh yeah, this is it. I don't know where the strength came from, but it was some strength. I said, okay, all right, we're here. Now what?
I really believe in my heart, I wanted to fight him. I wanted to release the anger and pain that he had inflicted on my daughter. I wanted him to know what it felt like. And apparently he didn't feel anything. That's why I say he was the devil.
You felt that when you hit him in between the knees and you got him in the face?
He may have felt it a little bit. But like I told him, you hit like a girl, hit me, So I don't know. Sometimes when I sit back and think about it, was I crazy when I went back in there?
No.
Maybe. I don't know. I just wanted him to feel the pain that he inflicted on Skylar. And I don't think he did. He turned his anger on me.
Crazy is good. That's how I view. I'm crazy. And psycho is like, that's sickening. A psychopath, no, but crazy, I feel like crazy is good, because we all got that, like that certain thing that will make us just go crazy for the ones we love.
Yeah. How has such events affected the relationship between you and Skylar now?
The first 2 years we didn't really know what to say to each other. But with a lot of therapy, it's gotten better, and it's getting better and better. I learned from my therapist, I couldn't be her therapist. I had to be her mom, because the question she was asking me, she should have been asking the therapist, because I was very open and blunt with her. I don't believe in lying to her. You needed to know what he did. And the therapist made it sound like, kind of cushion the blow. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to cushion the blow. I'm very upfront, honest, and direct. Always have been. I think that's the way to be. But I had to be her mom and not her therapist. So we've gotten a lot closer within the last 5 or 6 years. A lot closer.
That's great. Well, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, because I know that had to be even more difficult, because it's like she's pretty much, it's kind of like she's not reliving it, but having to live differently all over again. It's like a new person at the end of the day. Like she's born again.
That's because she doesn't remember a lot of things.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember everything. It was yesterday. Every time I talk about it, it's like I'm reliving it. But I've heard so many people tell me that Dylan was misunderstood. And it's like, how? And maybe he was. But that's a guy thing. I think that's a guy thing. I hear a lot from the guys. He's misunderstood. It's like, okay.
That right there just is irritating. Like, how can you look at an evil person or somebody who is inflicting pain, not just physically, mentally, and psychologically, and then look at them like, oh, he's misunderstood.
They're the victim.
Yeah.
He's the victim, sis. That's what they're saying. He's the victim,
You're in somebody else's house disrespecting them and their child, but you're misunderstood. That doesn't sit well with me. You know who's misunderstood? Skylar.
Oh.
Skylar is misunderstood.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I would have loved to hear or read this book from Skylar's perspective, because everybody's perspective is different. As far as Dylan, yeah, he can go from there. But this book comes from your perspective as you're an outsider at the end of the day, because you're not the one that's physically married to him and having to be around him. But from her, she's gonna give the ins and the outs of like how she was feeling mentally, what he was saying to her. Because there was one part in the book I was like, I think you guys had went out, and this was, I think, the beginning of the situation when you guys came back home, and he was like, the way he was talking to her, and I was just like, I wonder what is going through her mind in this point of the things that he is saying to her about her just being out with her mother. And I was like, and I remember Sierra and I was having this conversation, I was like, that would be dope to see or hear from Skylar's perspective. Now, it might be a little challenging because, like I said, like you said, she doesn't really remember. But if only she did, that would have been, and she was open to speaking on this, that would have been mind-blowing for sure.
I think at that point, whenever we went out, the brainwashing has already started, and it doesn't take a lot to brainwash a person. People think it does, but it doesn't. You keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're with that person, and you depend on that person, and you love that person. You do anything for them.
Yeah.
Even leave your mom.
You called it, Mama. You called it at the beginning when you said, like, she was working, and then she was in school and all that. That's how the manipulator gains control, is you you depend on me. You even depend on me to help you think on what is right and wrong and what you should be thinking about.
Yes.
So
even buying her clothes, and this is what I want you to wear. That's manipulation.
I'm not gonna lie, it was really funny. I'm sorry, I was laughing at this point. There was a point in the book where she was getting ready. She asked you to wear something, and you looked at her, and you looked at her like, "No, what I have on is fine, and you're not gonna tell me what to wear. You're not gonna tell me what time to have dinner ready. I got this. I run this program." That part, it had me laughing because that reminds me of every Black mother I know. Like, hold on, relax, pump your brakes, boo. I thought that was
yes. That's a mom speaking.
Yes.
Do you feel like Skylar not remembering is like a form of a blessing?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
Because I don't want her to relive any of this. I want her to go on with her life. She's happy.
That's great.
Speaking of her happiness, is she married? Like, we gonna have a wedding?
Can't say. Sequel.
Stay tuned. Because I feel like sis, I think we kind of know already, sis. Just unfolding the pages. I don't know.
Okay, looking forward to that sequel.
And first and foremost, we just want to thank you. But if you can just, I'll let you do this one, sis. Go ahead.
Okay, what do you want your readers to know? Any advice or words of encouragement?
Just stay strong and true to yourself. Always be honest to yourself. Follow your first mind. Because if you started debating with yourself in your mind, you're going to always choose the wrong path. Follow your first mind and you can't go wrong. Keep God first. Seek him for everything. And yes, he may be slow in answering, but he already knows what you want before you ask.
Preach.
And just remember, even your closest friends, they're going to judge you. They're going to misunderstand you. They're not going to like you, but it's okay. Look in the mirror every day and say, you know what? I'm a child of God. He made me. It doesn't matter if you like me or not. I like me.
Yeah.
I love me. And just be you. And you'll be okay.
No, I felt that 100%. I feel it.
Mm-hmm. If anybody got to have you question your morals, then you should be questioning if you like, why are you with that person?
Because if you don't like yourself, nobody else is going to like you.
Absolutely. On the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first and foremost, Sierra and I speak for the both of us when I say thank you for being a part of All Things Women podcast, because we start this podcast so that women and men can get a better understanding of just who they are as people. You know, we want to spread women empowerment. We want to, you know, embrace women and allow people to know that it is okay to support your sister. It's okay to embrace them with love and not feel like we have to, you know, tear them down based on their appearance or the situation or who they're dating this day and dating the next day and different things like that. Society literally tears us down, even as Black women. We have to go through so much. So we started this platform so that we can let people know, like, we're taking back who we are. We're going to wear our natural hair and not feel like we have to be crazy and, you know, feel like we're not beautiful enough because our hair is not the longest. We're going to go to work and just own our jobs, even though half of the people that we work with hate us. We're going to write a book about our true events, knowing that people are going to consider me a villain and say that the main villain is misunderstood. We're going to continue to elevate, and we're going to continue to create and, you know, just be the queens that God intended for us to be. Yes. And we just thank you. We are in awe of you. We appreciate this time. We know you're a busy woman, and we just thank you for just not only allowing us to give you a chance, but just you giving us a chance. So we definitely appreciate you for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate both of you for having me. Anytime. Anytime.
We are looking forward to that sequel. I know I am, because I'm nosy. I need to know. Let's go. I need to know.
It's coming.
So, after every episode, we like to give affirmations. We like to say affirmations one at a time. And so now that we have you here, you would definitely be a part of that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You're just going to say, I am, and then something. And Sierra can start us off.
I love affirmations. I am God's favorite.
I am strong.
I am a proud Black mother, very strong, independent.
I am relentless.
I am happy.
I am not judgmental of anyone. I accept people for who they are.
I attract positivity.
I am fearless.
I get rid of the negative people out of my life so the ones that are positive can enter.
I am a money magnet. I know I say that every time, but I am.
Most importantly, I am getting rid of the devil in the goddamn bedroom. We don't need him at all.
I am who I am and who God has made me to be.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much it, y'all. This is, as y'all probably can see, this is a whole different setup, but I like this setup. I feel like you get to see our personalities. I don't know, like, y'all let us know if y'all like this setup or not, and we'll make it work or make it not work. I don't know. But that's it, everybody. This was All Things Women podcast. You already know I am your girl, Symone Ranaye.
It's your girl, Sierra Arielle.
And we just had the most amazing episode with your girl, JP Storm.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We will have all of the information. If you would like to purchase a book, it will be in the description box below. And just be a great woman.
Also, if social medias, do you have any social medias, JP, as far as Instagram?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Facebook, JP Storm. On Facebook, Instagram, JP Storm 315.
You recognize that voice?
Yes, I do. That is
God. It's like, I'm kidding.
That's God talking.
That is the one and the only. That's my father.
The father. The father.
My father. Yes. That's a great guy right there, guys. Yes, send us that information. We'll gladly put it in the description box. And don't be surprised when you see them followers, rise up. Because our audience, they listen to us because we know what we're talking about.
And we thank you for all of our viewers for tuning in and staying loyal with us.